Radio to Digital.
Yeah, you can hit the right thing now there, Paul. You can indeed. Minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock on this, the 8th day of January. We have crossed 1 week already. We have indeed. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, on the show this morning, full cast except for one. Yeah, Richard Raghubarising. But we'll hear from Paul Richards, Wendell Stephen. We got Ruben and Shane in the mix. And of course, my name is Steve Kahn. Let's get straight into the traffic situation, see what's happening on the highways and the byways. I got one accident for you. It's on Caroni Savannah Road, northbound, right by Nick's Cafe. We all know where Nick's Cafe is. And is blocking that lane. That's what I got to tell you there. But apart from that, let's see, San Fernando going through Princestown. You've got some traffic going to South Oraput. Rivulet Road is beginning to build traffic from Coover straight up towards Sugargonas. And of course, that main road is building up. And you'll step on the gas and then you'll mash your brake again. Yeah. Until you get to the interchange. All right. Traffic this morning from Maloney to Piarco and then Trin City towards Uwe. And then it's not too bad until you get a Valse and you'll slow down a bit. And as I experienced this morning, just after Barataria, it is traffic bumper to bumper heading into Port of Spain. All right. Out of the west, I got nothing really to tell you about. Let's take a look at our weather forecast for today. It is 24 degrees at Piarco International Airport. What happened there? Yeah, and it is also 24 degrees at Crown Point in Tobago. What the Met Office is saying our weather is going to be like for today. Well, we had some rain in some places. I'll tell you where Sugargonas, Faizabad, they had some rain. Londonville, yep. And La Hoqueta, you've had some power issues throughout the evening. Well, throughout the morning, I should say. Take a look at temps. Did they update it yet? I'm checking the Met Office. They have not. But they did say yesterday it's going to be partly cloudy and breezy conditions are expected with a few light to moderate showers likely throughout the day. This evening will be fair despite the odd shower. We'll see what the Met Office is going to say in a couple of minutes. But let's see who sent us hellos first thing this morning. On YouTube, we've got Oliver Man Warren, Wendy Ann James, Ewart Rajpal, Garth Cillier, Marcia Rock, good morning. Cohen Duke, good morning. Gloria Gray, CJ New York, Wayne B, Carol Guevara. Carol, you found the one. Ray Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. Ms. Maloney, Rena Voodoo Jennings. On Facebook, we've got Chris Toussaint, Trinidad Margot. Good morning to you all. And let's see. Let me say good morning going out to Teresa Duff. Yep. She showed me a picture of my plant, that ficus I wanted. I forget, it's Snow on the Mountain, I think it's called. Good morning to you. Dan Raj, I am alive today. Good morning. Great to hear that. Sunny, good morning to you as well. Hope you guys have a great one. And that's on WhatsApp. You too can WhatsApp at 3181021. All right. Yeah. So the guys are on. I'm just checking in at office. You know, you all like to know your weather. Did they update it? They did. So good morning to you, gentlemen. What's shaking?
Morning, Paul. Morning, Steve. Morning, Richard. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over. It had plenty rain in Arima this morning.
Yeah, I woke up at when I came out, I saw that it rained slightly, but that's about it. Morning, Paul.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone.
How does it feel to not drive this morning?
We make a difference. I'll be driving an hour and a half anyway. So,
Well, at least they don't have to come in here for 5:30.
no, I don't
But
mind. I'm not really thinking so.
yeah, I realize that. But I see like most people are back out to work. Traffic was heavy getting into Port of Spain this morning.
It
I'm
might
just
it might have been because of the weather too.
I was dry coming into Port of Spain.
Oh, it's dry in Port of Spain?
Yeah,
Okay.
dry in Port
Oh,
of Spain.
well, Arima is
So,
wet.
so
It
just
isn't
take your
raining
time.
now.
Have you been having issues with TNTech overnight, Wendell?
We have issues with TNTech up here all the time.
Really?
And I come downstairs and I see the stove light blinking and I say, oh Lord, the current went. Because
Oh,
it
that.
just goes just for a brief moment, eh? It doesn't go for long, eh?
Oh,
And it comes back on, and that's what we've been enduring in Arima area for a while now.
mm-hmm.
I really don't know what's causing it. Nobody has said anything, but that happens regularly up here. Well, don't talk about flow dropping and so on. Oh God, no.
You like flow, so you like them problems. So,
Well,
you're
I
talking
don't know
about it
if
2 years
anybody
now.
else different. I've tried
You-
the others,
You're
I
talking
have
about it 2 years
Amplia.
now.
I have Digicel and Amplia, and I have no problems with them.
and I see people complaining about them all the time.
I have
No, I
Digicel
have
at
I
home.
have the
Stay at
and I
work.
have no problems. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
you don't have complain as much as you will complain. So
But
to the man.
I suspect you won't get more complaints than Flu because Flu may have the bigger slice of the market. But my
No, they
God,
don't.
they
They
don't?
don't.
No, they
Okay.
don't.
Well, in any event, I sold you on. I make do with what I have, and I just move on.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. But over the weekend, of course, I just avoided my phone and tried my best to avoid the news because all I saw coming up through my feed was death and mayhem, and I decided I ain't want no
Yeah.
part. I ain't want to listen. I ain't want to watch. I don't want nothing to do with it, and I just
Well,
I know what
decided.
the problem with you is here.
Hmm.
You went praying.
Well, I prefer if you see what other people will focus on, more people will focus on praying. Well, then we mightn't have time for all this nonsense thing because sometimes people say prayer might be nonsense, but guess what? It's a
I
safer
am not.
nonsense.
I am not saying prayer is nonsense.
No, I
I'm
didn't
saying.
say you said
I'm
that.
saying we should. I'm saying we should pray more.
Yeah, people
mm,
at least when you're praying, you have time
That
for all this
that's the
killing.
solution to the current problem. Pray. We need
Mm.
to pray more.
yeah.
We can't do it.
Yeah. We're hiring Jesus to whatever higher being to solve the crime problem.
Uh,
And
you
I tell you, yesterday, gentlemen, I'm at home yesterday, and I just looked at the cameras at the pet butler, and I said, "What the heck is going on across there? I'm seeing a bunch of police cars." So I called one of the guys who live in the area. I didn't get him, so I decided to take a drive and see what is going on. What's all these police cars outside there? To only realize that on Evelyn Street, which if you're taking Evelyn Street towards the Elscore Road, a man was murdered.
Yeah, because I saw the video and I'm looking.
I
I
just
say, but I said butler sign.
Yeah, it's right there. It's on Evelyn Street. The man went to work. He works at the docks. He's 64 years old. I know him. And he came home and these guys ransacked his house. I didn't go in. And this is what the guys around the area is telling me. They ransacked the house. They beat him to a point where he had marks all over his body. And then they put him in the bathroom and took his car.
Maybe you should be proactive and call the police again.
Hmm.
I said, "Oh
He
my
dead, no problem.
God." He died.
Oh, he died. Okay. So
That's
maybe you
number
should be proactive.
15. There's one in
And when
Iraq.
if you don't get through the first time, call a couple of times.
But is it true that officer has been transferred to the Toko police station?
No, it's not.
Okay.
The police said it's not. She has not been transferred.
Oh,
They said
okay.
it
I was
was
like,
just.
I didn't see anything. I was wondering. But yeah, it was like, what the heck is going on? And just earlier on, a buddy of mine had called me, one of my very, very good friends. And we were talking about the crime situation, and he's saying he is thinking of migrating with his kids. You know, and this place is just not getting any better for him. He's paranoid. And then 2 hours after, he sent me that video, and he said, "Cheese on ages."
You know, but for the last few years, we've had a problem in January in particular. We have had spikes in January, the month of January.
Yeah. The rubber lotto booth in Tacarigua yesterday.
Anytime there is a time period where there are entertainment events that need to be patronized,
Always.
is an upstage in crime.
5 weeks again.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all.
If there's a big concert in Port of Spain, police are on alert 2 weeks before. And carnival time is replete with entertainment events. So January, when they are right, and February usually have very high crime rates.
Yeah, we've been having that for a while.
And yesterday morning, I'm cooking at 8 o'clock. I mean, pack. Now, even if it's fireworks or bamboo busing or guns, an hour after, police cordon off the road. Man get gunned down.
Oh, dear.
But that's in Mount Lambert, yeah. It's... I don't
5 minutes over the weekend.
Yeah.
5.
We're in
Somebody
1 week.
One that may have occurred overnight near breakfast shed. I don't know. I can't confirm that.
Oh,
but
okay. I didn't hear that. One in the Queen's Park, Savannah, opposite TGI.
Man working on the carnival boats, Queen's Park, Savannah.
I mean,
one in Paget in Tunapuna.
I bet
One in
it's
Belmont
right.
off Bel Air Road.
Yeah.
One in Aranguez and one in Mount Lambert. That we know of.
That we know of, yes.
And somebody go jump on themselves just now and say we started Monday morning with negativity. No, let's talk about the lotto.
To the lotto.
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, because
So talk about anything that what really happening and what affecting people on a daily basis. Okay? Because we're negative.
I've barely been leaving home, honestly. I've barely been.
Express front page says bloody weekend. Murder toll jumps to 15 as 6 men killed. The Express is reporting 6 men killed. And of course, earlier is superimposed. The tides will turn. Well, Madam Commissioner, I doubt very much people have a lot of confidence in your word at this point.
It's like I'm watching.
Doubt very much. What?
I'm watching TV6 News last night, right?
I don't think Dominic Calipers could be any more sarcastic when he was reading that story.
Oh, boy, yeah, boy. I saw that.
I don't think he could have been any more sarcastic with his intonation. And the commissioner said, we should pray.
That did not happen. No, she was saying, well, crime will be down in 3 months. That did not happen. And I bust out laughing.
Yeah, but do you raise any population has any faith in what Mrs. Here with Christopher says at this point?
No.
But the first people who have to have faith in what she's saying and how she is conducting herself is the TTPS themselves, the officers under her charge. That's the first place that needs to be fixed. That's the first bunch of people that need to embrace the word of God and do it the proper way. That's the first bunch of people that need to do that. So,
I have a slightly different perspective.
So she started off in the right place, in my opinion. Because I think it was an interfaith service for the TTPS again yesterday. So it was police officers there at that service. So she started off in the correct place. Fix them.
I think it needs to go a bit higher than this is here with Christopher.
Yeah.
I think who put her there need to do a proper assessment as to whether she's being effective because in the 2 years that she's been at the helm, we've had the two highest murder rates. And I'm not saying she caused the murders, eh? I'm
No.
saying it is a leadership issue.
Yeah, and they need to deal with that immediately.
A leadership issue.
Mm.
Okay? So we see how it goes.
Well,
I hired Jesus to be the commissioner of police.
It was difficult to me to find someone who could do worse than Stephen Williams.
again, that TTPS, I mean, since
I
Stephen
found great
Williams,
difficulty, but not so much anymore.
since Stephen Williams, who have we had? We have had Gary Griffith, we have had McDonald Jacobs, and we have had Erla Christopher, right? Since Stephen Williams. So we have been on that trend a little while now. Gary Griffith was just a blip. You understand? And here we are once again in the TTPS with the rank and file, doing what they please, doing what they know how to do. Keep the pension secured and the promotions guaranteed. That's it. That's it. Promotion and pension, to hell with performance. I've been saying it for years.
So there will be another viewing of the Prime Minister Pandey's body at Sapa from this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they're still going to do the military route.
So he'll be moved from Das funeral home, where his body is, of course, reposed at the moment, to Sapa for a viewing later today. And then, of course, I think from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. today at San Fernando, as it was on Friday, which I was really heartened by the respect shown to the late Prime Minister by the members of the public who lined in the rain to see his body, to pay tribute to him, honor him.
The rain?
And his daughter, it was raining. People went under umbrellas. And I think his daughter, Makila Pandey, has done so well in terms of her grace in thanking the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Did I tell you? Yes.
So much so, several commentators have started raising her name again in the context of leadership.
Well, you know, when I listen,
I saw quite a number of graphics with her side by side with Penelope Beckles, heading to 2025. You crack your neck there, boy. Ooh,
you
heard
heard
from your head. But if you do so, what are you doing? You had a fit or something? You crack your neck.
I didn't think you all will hear that from there.
We didn't have to hear it when they're like, you do so.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Okay. Mrs. Pasabi says, I saw an interview where she was asked about Makila and Mr. Pandey, and Mrs. Pasabi said they've been trying to reach her to Makila without success. I don't know if it's just to offer condolences or if it's to, I don't know. But they said
I was
they've been
not
trying.
going to raise that because I found that so.
Say that again, Paul. I think let me just claim here. Say that again.
What?
I found that so funny. That
why? But why? I do really find it funny. I could understand why. I mean, Mr. Pandey is the founder of the UNC. Mr. Pandey is a former prime minister. Mr. Pandey is the first Hindu prime minister. Mrs. Pasabi says now leading the UNC and the opposition. Out of respect, she should reach out to the Pandey family.
So you believe she's been
even
trying
if only to offer condolences.
So you believe that? You believe
I don't
she's been trying without success?
I don't know. Yeah. That's what she said. I have no reason to doubt her. She mightn't. She didn't say I. She said we. So it could mean the UNC.
Thousands of people. I don't know if you been watching it. Went downtown and
You're just cynical.
Eh?
And Mrs. Pasabi says led her entourage of UNC parliamentarians and the UNC executive.
So she conveniently went when Michaela wasn't there.
I don't know if she knew when Michaela would be there. Did you know when Michaela would be there? No, I honestly don't understand the cynicism in this part.
Well, there's my version of Dominic Kalipersad. Oh, please, give me a break.
I mean, at some point, I would imagine the UNC, out of respect and established as leader, the UNC would reach out to the Pandey family, even if only to offer condolences.
Haven't we heard this before, Paul? That she was trying to reach out to them? Haven't we heard this before?
Under completely different circumstances.
Oh,
Under
please.
completely different circumstances.
Yeah.
Give
But
me a
gentlemen,
break.
I don't mean to thing, but let's say a special happy birthday going out to Michaela Pandey.
Today is her
Wow.
birthday. Very well.
Today is her birthday.
Okay, well,
All right.
I think we're happy birthday, but she celebrate life.
Celebrated life.
Happy birthday, Michaela.
It's astounding how much she looks like her father
and sounds like him too, eh?
and sounds like him. Yeah, very
kudos to TTT. They've been running a lot of interviews and bios on Mr. Pandey, and you learn a lot.
Well, I found an interview I did with Mr. Pandey 2.5 years ago. So I'm editing for playback tomorrow sometime. A half-an-hour interview which he allowed me at his office in Chaguanas about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, just before the pandemic. And I mean, everything he's always said, he said. But the start of the interview is so funny because if you catch him off cuff and the camera was rolling, he was saying, I'm a bionic man now. Everything on me is fixed in his usual witty, charismatic way. So anyway.
Well, one of the people who certainly knew Mr. Pandey well was Rafiq Shah, who wrote an interesting article yesterday in the newspapers. And a couple paragraphs from that article says, "Today I feel powerless when I see the nation lionize the same men who have worked overtime to keep our country divided. I cringe when I see the most corrupt celebrated and martyred, leaving behind them a nation so steeped in banditry and corruption. And people think the murder rate is the only thing we should be bothered by? To think that almost 70 years after the PNM brought organized party politics to the country, the term, all are we corrupt, rings a warning bell that nobody seems to bother with. Pandey, the only prime minister to have been jailed for corruption so far, is lionized by the very people who complain about corruption being endemic to this society." Those were the words of Rafiq Shah in an article yesterday.
And I understand that, but as I said, when Marlene McDonald passed, humans are complex creatures. And we spoke about the good and the bad she did.
Yes.
Like Mr. Pandey.
We did.
Okay?
We did.
Nobody imperfect. And we said so last week.
And nobody will be perfect.
And nobody will be perfect. And anybody who has the honor to lead this country, I'm sure everybody will have some skeleton in the closet somewhere. That will be brought up. And the moment of them departing this is.
Yeah. Michaela Pandey, over the last few days, though, also, when they raised the issue of the airport being named after him, didn't think also that one might have been appropriate. She said what he wanted the most was constitutional reform. Well, I'm sorry then that Mr. Pandey's wish will never come true. Not as long as the politics remain this way in Trinidad and Tobago. We will never see that wish of his of constitutional reform. So we had to find another wish that he had to honor him, because that one, Michaela, ain't happening in a long, long time with this politics we have in Trinidad and Tobago. You understand?
I'm always amused when I hear constitutional reform will never happen. Do you know, as a matter of course, every time a bill is passed or amended in the parliament, that constitutional reform is taking place?
Well, I think.
Are we aware of that? That every time a bill is passed, a new bill is passed, or laws are amended, that the constitution is being reformed and amended?
Well, yeah, but I think the context in which Mr. Pandey means it requires both houses of parliament to agree on certain things, not the ones where it's just a simple majority.
You're talking about, but there have been special majority bills amended and passed in the last 8 years. Have been.
Very few, if any.
But there have been. So again, is it that Mr. Pandey's version of constitutional reform is what we're talking about, proportional representation, or other for parts of the Constitution, because constitutional reform is taking place. Maybe not at the pace everybody wants.
Mm.
You understand? Because I saw an article over the weekend also from Martin Daly, Senior Counsel, and he spoke of something that I really found quite profound. That he spoke about the nexus between political parties, crime, and campaign funding, which was promised by this government.
Mm-hmm.
Campaign finance reform,
Mm-hmm.
which is another form of constitutional reform. Dr. Rowley's on the record last week as talking about Tobago bills coming to the parliament. Constitutional reform also. Am I wrong?
No.
It is happening, just not in the way everybody particularly wants it in their own mind.
Well, the proposals are happening. The bills
Well,
may be coming.
as I said, Wendell, and you agreed, there are special majority bills that have passed in the last 8 years since I've been there. So everybody's version of constitutional reform could be different, eh?
Well, I think Mr. Pandey had seen it on that bigger picture. You're right, of proportional representation.
That's specifically what he's talking about, and he spoke about the population electing a president by one man, one vote, stuff like that. But there is constitutional reform taking place all the time. It may not be at the pace or the degree people want or envision, but it is happening.
Mm.
You understand? And Mr. Daly is right. Is that one of the main issues in this country, and I've said so before on several occasions, is the issue of campaign finance, which dovetails with procurement, which dovetails with jobs and contract trade boys, which dovetails with certain business, so-called business entities in quotation marks, fronting as legitimate business and really involved in white-collar crime. You understand?
And neither of the parties, none of the parties, all of them, going to hamstring themselves with that. They talk it, but they won't do it. Minister Faris Al-Rawi, on so many occasions when he was Attorney General, spoke, we are bringing this, and we're bringing this. We are 18 months to go. Let me see. That's what
that ain't happening at all. Let me just say, I'll be very surprised if it comes to the parliament.
The UNC didn't do it because they started it, and the PNM ain't doing it either. Okay? And the NAR ain't doing it, the MSJ ain't doing it.
And we underestimate
the NTA ain't doing
contribution of that to what we're seeing on the streets in bloodshed.
None of them ain't doing it. None.
Right, so
the biggest news we had in the last few days is Cat Williams with this 2 3/4 hour interview that I just happened to be going through Facebook. And
do you know Cat Williams? Have you followed Cat Williams?
I've watched a lot of his stand-up before.
Cat Williams is lies so damn much it's very funny.
Well, all of them.
No, but Cat Williams. Let me tell you something with Cat Williams, which I found was brilliant about that interview, that extended interview or conversation, according to the host. Cat Williams, it is at 29 million views in 4 days.
Yeah. Right?
Cat Williams is a very, very astute comedian who understood that is, you see, when people had to give Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle and them Netflix specials, that was Cat Williams' Netflix special. Because it is surpassing all of them who get the big Netflix deals and will secure work for Cat Williams in the next 3 years.
The only thing is that, I mean, he didn't really need it, but he did it, and I don't know that he did. I don't know that he would have,
is always important in a competitive market.
Paul, I don't know that he would have foreseen that would have exploded the way it exploded. Eh?
Yes, Wendell, with what he said, he knew exactly what he was saying about whom.
Because it could have gone the other direction. Eh? It could have plummeted him down into a hole that he couldn't come out of. Because of the type of names he called there and critiqued.
And he's never really cared about what people think about him anyway.
And that's what I'm saying. So that's Cat Williams.
I think he knew exactly what he was doing.
What you see is real Cat Williams. You understand?
No, but he's always been like that. It wasn't anything out of character for him.
No.
He's been calling out people.
sipping cognac and talking what you feel
Yeah,
to talk.
it's actually bigger for the podcast that he's on, because now that podcast is the biggest mainstream podcast there is.
That's what happened. Club Shay is the one that got
Yeah,
the
Club
got the
Shay
real picks
huge
from it.
now. Whoever goes on Club Shay next, anyway, that, for those of you who don't know.
So that fella can't interview to save his life.
Well, he's an ex-footballer. It's not an interview. He said so. He says a conversation. So he just opens it on there, say what you want.
All he do is ball out. No, cap, no.
Which is also brilliant. All you have to say is, oh, you can't say that. You can't say that. When Nikki and I were on the radio together years ago, we had a segment called "You Can't Say That." And she would be saying salacious things. I said, you cannot say that. To get it out. But nowadays, you get a lawsuit.
Yeah, true. But I enjoyed it. And if anybody here listening hasn't seen it or looked at it yet, and there are several little clips being created now, but you have to sit down and watch it 2 and 3/4 hour. Trust me, you'll enjoy it.
Well, I know I didn't watch the whole country quarter. I like parts.
Nah, I watch it uninterrupted, boy. I saying, what is this man saying here? And I just couldn't stop watching it. And look at where it reached.
Richard went fat last night. Steve said she's not going to be here today.
Huh?
Richard went fat last night.
He said he wasn't making it today. He was either being late or not at all.
Was it a big fat last night, eating Origins or something like that?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, over in South. Big fat.
Let me see what he said.
So he must have imbued.
He says, guys, I may be late tomorrow or not on at all. I may not be able to log on where I'll be. If I can, I will. So Steve asked him, no internet in Double Palm? He said, not the one I'm going. It is very private. So Steve said the Jeffrey Epstein villa, apparently. Epstein?
Yeah, you could be in Trinidad and Tobago and don't have internet.
I don't know.
Well, he actually didn't say he wouldn't have internet. He said he wouldn't be able to log out, which is something different.
Yeah, he said that.
So, which means he probably just would be so indisposed that he can't log on.
Yeah.
But you can log on without your camera and go back sing.
His hands would probably be tied out.
Wendell does it all the time, leave your camera off.
Yeah.
And Tobago also continues to be under siege. Gunmen in Tobago's capital, Scarborough, on Saturday night had people scampering. At least they got CCTV footage, which included a man on crutches at the corner of Carrington Street and Wilson Road just after 7. A gunman approached and fired at him. And these gunmen just passed and spraying bullet to him. They don't care who they are. What tree alignment with? Yep. Wendell, I see that there has been an announcement that wrecking will resume on Aria Peter Avenue.
How much time do you see them announcements? Huh?
To help curb crime on the avenue.
To help curb crime?
That's what they said, part of the crime fighting efforts on the avenue.
Who made us?
It was a release. It was a release. I think it's a TTPS. I think it was a TTPS release over the weekend.
Wrecking will curb crime?
Wrecking is part of the methodologies and one of them to help curb crime and opposition crime on the avenue. They didn't say it will on its own.
Okay. What I gonna do? I don't go on the avenue and park. I don't lime on the avenue, so it ain't bothering me. And if people go and park indiscriminately and they get wrecked, that's their business. But they're gonna kill off the avenue, I don't know what we spend all our money for making the avenue look so nice,
Why will proper parking on the avenue kill off the avenue?
You can't get proper parking on the avenue. A lot of those places,
because everybody wants to park within 2 blocks of the Lyman spot, which is not normal in any metropolis.
Again, if you don't provide these spaces for people to park, where else they gonna park? Because your car parking in the back streets is the worst. You understand? It's dangerous.
And unsafe.
Dangerous, yeah. It's dangerous. You'll probably end up on top of the pavement or in front of somebody's gate. So, I don't know what I really don't know what they're doing. Huh? I have nothing to say anymore. All what I had to say came to naught back then. The avenue, thankfully now under UDCOT, is looking really nice. And if they go, it not being police, and now you're not going to have parking, well, that's it. All the money down the drain.
I don't understand why it's so difficult. I think this happened long ago. I don't know if they still have them. Police used to have these like the back of a trailer where they used to have a substation. And 4 or 5 officers, not so? 2 motorcycles and a squad car. Remember they used to have that?
Yeah.
Why is that so difficult to put any avenue on weekends when people are perusing the avenue en masse? Why is that so difficult? I don't understand it. Anyway, they might put let me not say that. I'll get into trouble.
So I don't know how Reckon going on.
They might put a prayer booth. I think that's safe to first. They might put a prayer booth.
I don't know how Reckon going and fix that. Reckon going and further keep people away. That's all. Right? Yes, Reckon should be done, especially if you're blocking somebody home or parking by hydrants and whatnot. But the corporation have the wherewithal to do that. The corporation, whilst under Mayor Timke, purchased 2 records. The records still there. They're still there. Now we're going to let some private citizen bring back the records and somebody going and make eat a food. This place sickening, yes?
Are you against Reckon so?
Huh?
Are you against Reckon so?
I'm not against Reckon. I'm against indiscriminate, wicked Reckon. That's what I'm against. And that's exactly what they're going to start back doing. That's exactly what they're going to start back doing. They will wreck you from a side now. As soon as you pull up, they will go back to the same old, and say that helping the parking problems and the crime problem. Oh, please. You really feel these people with guns care about a record? You really feel they care about a record? They ain't care about the Woodbrook police station that right there, or that the police are passing every now and then. They go care about a record?
They'll have to go for the vehicles. Anyway, I'm presuming that no one has papers. No, I think you all should be contemplating a question this morning.
I could record your poll though. I mean, record the poll results. I can record the poll results. But you can do papers. Steve, you all share papers in the chat yet? Yes, I can do the Guardian.
It is Monday, the 8th of January, 2024. Good morning to you. Let's start. You record the poll. The poll.
I can do the Guardian for you.
Okay. Let's start with the Express East Side out front. TNTech East Side dimensionally is a competitive field of 15 steel bands into the National Panorama Small Conventional Final this Friday. I passed by Exodus last night, and a lot of people are enjoying their practice run. So, pan sides are starting their to me, one of the more enjoyable aspects of Carnival is those pan theaters with people going and checking out the practice sessions. Erla calls on God again. 6 weekend murders. The Express is reporting 6. I said 5. Basdeo Pandey tells his story. 4 women nabbed after chase at sea. The Coast Guard issued a statement yesterday. The 4 women were arrested after the Coast Guard chased a vessel suspected of crossing the international maritime border between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela. The vessel ran aground and the women were arrested. Call for enhanced protection measures. Public viewing at Sapa today for Basdeo Pandey. Would you care to do the Guardian, sir?
Yes, I can do the Guardian. The Guardian, of course, online says, weekend mayhem, 4 more murders take toll to 13. Of course, we know that that's now 15 or 16. 4 wounded in Tobago shooting. Erla, success with crime possible with God's help. And there's a picture of the TTPS as they marched through this Independence Square yesterday for their interfaith service held at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. I've seen a good friend of mine in the background there, man. And Sinanan asks AG about Caribbean Ferry. Also on the front, senior cops on leave, not hampering crime fight, says 2 ex-commissioners. New home for ATN and his girls. That's also a story on the front of today's Guardian. Also on the inside, the poverty tax. What is that about? That's an article by David Abdullah. Man killed after working on carnival booth at Queen's Park, Savannah. $65 million highway work to alleviate traffic for Southerners. Snow hinders rescues and aid deliveries after Japan quake kills 128, and that death toll has been rising. There's a picture, of course, of Anissa Rowley, Marcus Rowley, Jacob Thomason, Kareem Coffey, Joseph Thomason, Sharon Clark Rowley, Khalid Rowley, Tonya Rowley, and Kanika Clark as they pose for a photo at Bishop's School of Fete on Saturday. So it's the entire Rowley clan. All right. Also, 4 wounded in Tobago shooting. Top Cop revisits need for God's support in crime fight. And those are some of the stories that are trending in today's Guardian. Also, police and fire officers anticipate outstanding back pay this month. All right? So that's today's Guardian.
Let's move now to the Newsday. UNC new school term marred by education ministry mismanagement. Priests, police, public must trust and respect each other. Man gunned down around Queen's Park, Savannah. Solomon Hochoy Highway gets extra lanes in Central. The many hats of Basdeo Pandey. Justice Lucky says Pandey was a friend to the end. News that broke over the weekend, TSTT sacks chief financial officer. Police arrest 6 men, seize 2 guns in anti-crime exercises. And Humphrey wants Makila to continue Pandey's dynasty. So those are trending stories in Express, Guardian, and Newsday for today, Monday, the 8th of January, 2024.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul. It is 11. I'm trying to get Paul. He didn't come. The results are poor. I'll get it shortly. One more time. Right. So we got the results. Our poll on Friday. We asked you, would you agree with renaming the Piarco International Airport the Basdeo Pandey International Airport? That was our poll on Friday. 56%, 56 said no.
That's a pretty close
votes
poll.
on this. Yeah. Right. Let's say good morning, good night to Josie Orlando Richardson, Rena Boodoo Jennings, romantic, passionate lover, Shiloh Lett, Karen Yipnow, good morning to you, Alistair Hart, Nasser Mohammed, Randy Kelly, Diana Benskin, good morning to you all. All right, let's get into our morning poll, gentlemen.
All right, where do you want to go with, Paul?
Well, there are 2 potential polls in my head. One has to be wrecking on Ari Peter Avenue. And the second one has to do with Makila Pandey re-entering the UNC.
Both valid. We could do Makila Pandey as by the time I come back. Funeral you want done with. Yeah, so let's do the politics first, and then we'll do the reckoning on either tomorrow or Wednesday.
What do you think Makila Pandey will rejoin or be welcomed back to the UNC fold? Is that the question?
Yeah, but should Makila Pandey take over leadership of the UNC? Will you agree that Makila Pandey should be the leader of the UNC? Let's go there.
That's a very loaded question.
Yeah.
All right.
Why don't we say welcome back to the UNC?
I done load up the Matic and cock it back, you know. So you unload it now. In your own inimitable style.
I have no comment on that statement, sir.
All right, let's go with that.
All right. Well, let's go with will the UNC welcome Michaela Pandey or something like that?
Yeah, do you think Michaela Pandey will be welcomed back into the UNC fold? Yes or no? Pamela Prasad-Bissessa has to find her though, to reach out to her. But do you think she'll be welcomed back? Yes or no? That's our question this morning. As Kamala Prasad-Bissessa launches a nationwide search for Michaela Pandey. Right. That's our poll, people.
I'm not even going to add to it.
No, we have one vote so far. Richard Jeremiah, how you going, boy? Long time.
Yeah, Richard M. Jeremiah. Sonny San Fernando says yes. She should be welcomed back. Dan Rod says yes. Slick Money Grip says no to the poll.
All right. So do you think she will be welcomed back? Not should she be welcomed back. Do you think she will be welcomed back? That's our question. Julia Batiste says yes. Julia S. Batiste. All right. Rena Boodoo Jennings says no.
Yeah, okay. Good morning, caller.
Morning, San Grandy, no.
All right, Grandy, thank you. Carol Guevara says no. Ms. Maloney says no. Rena Boodoo Jennings says no. B.V. Smith in Goodwood, Tobago. Tobago, what is going on across there? B.V. Smith says yes. Cohen Duke says yes.
Steve, I am reading. I don't know if you...
Second?
I will is back, but I am reading.
Yeah, I realize.
Do you think Michaela Pandey will be welcomed back into the UNC fold post the night of her father's passing? Yes or no?
Sonny San Fernando is changing his vote from yes to a no. All right. He says, well, as you frame it like that, no, she won't be. Guy Small says yes to the poll. Wayne B says no. Sexy San Fernando says no to the poll.
Didn't you give me Sexy San Fernando already?
No.
Okay.
That just popped up here. All right. Do you think Michaela Pandey, who's celebrating a birthday today, will be welcomed back into the UNC fold? Yes or no?
Well, they bound to meet up tomorrow at the funeral. They bound to come face to face tomorrow at the funeral. That
I would imagine.
Every photographer going to wait on that picture.
Yeah, that'll be the picture on the papers on Wednesday. How much you want to put some doubles on it?
If I was Dr. Rowley, I was going to stand up next to Michaela and don't move.
Oh, I just remembered.
I was standing up right there and don't move. I'm too mischievous when I'm ready. You know, I'm like Cat Williams. Oh, gosh. Never see she come here. You come across here.
She will. She's a politician.
Oh, God. She ain't going across there at all.
All right. Do you think Michaela Pandey will be welcomed back into the UNC fold? Yes or no? What says you?
You have 2 more votes there, Steve.
We have Finbar Collins saying Lorna Kalu Singh. Morning, Lorna. Morning, Indy and Kali. No. All right. He said that she'll be a threat to Kamala Prasad Bissessa. All right. 222-8255.
You have David Frost saying no, and Yvette Scipio saying no.
Nope. Yep.
Good morning, Zena. And she went for the Richard last night. Wait, she was reading her remodel this morning. She curled up under the blanket.
You well know. Jaron Joseph says no. Thank you, Jaron. Do you think Michaela Pandey will be welcomed back into the UNC fold? Yes or no? That's what we need here.
Steve, there are several clips in news, so please check the updated newscast in P1.
Give me 1 second. Let me see if you can give it to me.
Subhash gone. Devant gone. The only person who Pandey bring in and they've kept is Dr. Munilal. Everybody else gone.
No, Dr. Gopi Singh is still there.
Well, he there but not there.
Steve gives us this very unpleasant show every morning. I don't know why he does that.
Oh, what? Sorry? Huh?
I don't know why he doesn't realize. We don't need to see you getting up and sitting down, please. It's quite unpleasant.
Yeah, I'm going to go side by side. I can do this.
Or you could just turn off the camera and spare us all every morning.
Of course, we'll chat with Dr. Amory Brown after our news. Briefly, he's heading to Sapa. He's on the road already. Marcia Rock says no to the poll.
Well, a lot of the that's why the PNM as a party is as strong as they are, because even with that epic battle between Mr. Manning and Dr. Rowley, a lot of the people that Mr. Manning brought into the party are still there, and including his son, who is now a minister, an MP and a minister. You understand?
Last week.
But a lot of the people who Basdio Pandey brought in, well, they're gone. They're gone. History. Can I get an amen? My two colleagues they said a word.
You're on a campaign this morning, but let me tell you, you had a good restful weekend. You had a rest.
All I speak is the truth.
You had a restful weekend. Your version of the truth. You mean all you speak is your version of the truth?
No, I speak the truth, the actual truth. Dr. Amory Brown was also someone brought in by Mr. Manning. He is still there. You understand? Penelope Beckles, she is still there. Brian Manning, his son, is there. Faris Al-Rari is still there.
Call member.
Coleman, how could I forget? Thanks. You see how easy it is to join this conversation by just speaking the truth? Coleman.
701. News is next.
Thank you.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Monday, the 8th of January, 2024. This is Major News to 7 a.m. First, the headlines. The police commissioner wants to meet with religious leaders to discuss crime. 5 murders over the weekend are engaging the attention of police. Trinidad and Tobago exports increased by 54% in 2023. And Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina wins a 4th term in a controversial vote. We have details coming up next. This is Major News to 7 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. Good Monday morning to you. Police Commissioner Earl Harewood Christopher is willing to meet with members of faith-based organizations to hold discussions relating to the fight against crime. The head of the TTPS made the disclosure while speaking at the annual interfaith service held Sunday at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Port of Spain. She said the TTPS recognizes it cannot do it alone and therefore is interested in meeting with members of faith-based organizations. Last year, the commissioner cited the need for the country to seek the help of God and also resolve to reduce crime in 3 months.
From the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Staff, that we will accept that call to meet with all faith-based organizations, because we recognize we cannot do it alone.
She's remaining confident progress can be made in this area.
Acknowledge the supremacy of God and the important role that He has to play in us achieving our mandate. We know all that we would have gone through, and we know that with God's grace and with His help, we will succeed.
Commissioner Harewood Christopher's appeal came in the context of a request
that we desire.
Commissioner Harewood Christopher's appeal came in the context of a request from Roman Catholic priest David Kahn for such a meeting to be held.
I say to your commissioner, all that is happening, all that is said in the news, you are not the least in Trinidad and Tobago. Intelligence alone will not solve our crime situation. Being people of faith and praying that it be solved, it is not going to solve the crime situation. The people of intelligence, the people of faith need to meet together, and then we can work together.
Meanwhile, 5 unrelated murders between Sunday evening and yesterday afternoon have pushed the murder toll to 15 in the country. In the first reported incidents of violence, a 26-year-old loader was gunned down after working on carnival booths around the Queen's Park Savannah in Port of Spain yesterday. Police said Akil Archer was in the tree of a brown Mazda T3500 truck on a paved area near the paddock when one white four-door pickup truck drove into the path of the vehicle, blocking it. Gunmen got out of the white truck as Archer jumped out of the tree and ran to a grassy area nearby. He was chased and shot by the gunmen, who got back in their vehicle and sped off. In Tunapuna, police are searching for 2 men who shot a Pajé businessman before crashing their getaway car into a nearby drain on Saturday evening. Police said 48-year-old Vikram Ramlal was sitting on a stool near a table in front of the bar on Pajé Main Road, Tunapuna, with a friend when a red Toyota Yaris drove up to the bar. A gunman got out of the car and walked up to Ramlal, shooting him several times before getting back into the car, which sped off. Other patrons at the bar took Ramlal to the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex, where he was declared dead at around 7:32. In Belmont, 1 man is dead after a shooting on Saturday night. Police said Shaquille George, 25, walked out of the Bel Air Road or onto the Bel Air Road to meet someone to sell an item around 7:30 p.m. when a black Nissan X-Trail drove near him on Bel Air Road. Several men got out of the car and shot George several times, who tried to run away from the attackers but collapsed nearby at the corner of Walcott Lane. The men then got back into the vehicle and sped off through Pittman Hill into Gonzales. Police are also investigating murders in Aranjuez and Mount Lambert on Sunday. Meanwhile, in Tobago, gunmen in Tobago's capital on Saturday night left 4 people injured and many others frightened for their lives. CCTV footage showed people, including a man in crutches, scampering to safety. Superintendent Rod Hill Kirk said a group of men were gathered in front of a supermarket at the corner of Carrington Street and Wilson Road in Scarborough just after 7 p.m. when a gunman approached and fired at them. The men scattered in various directions. The gunman escaped on foot. Investigations are continuing into all incidents. The public is being assured there will be minimal disruption, especially during peak hours, while an additional lane northbound and southbound is being constructed on the Sir Solomon Hochoy Highway between Sharonis and Chase Village. Minister of Works and Transport Rohan Sinanan, speaking during a tour of ongoing works on the Sir Solomon Hochoy Highway on Sunday, cited the importance of the project as efforts continue to address traffic congestion. He said most of the work will be done from 9 p.m., adding, present off-the-road work is taking place from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on weekends.
Most of the work on the road, if not all the road work, will be done in the night from 9 to 4. What you have happening now is off-the-road work. That will be done from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. So at the peak hours, there will be no work taking place. However, once they have the off-road work going on, if you notice, the police is managing the traffic in such a way that they're allowing, although we have one lane blocked off, we're using the shoulder. So you get back the 2 lanes.
Minister Sinanan said 11 other projects are taking place.
Our program this year is 11 projects that we're looking at to help with traffic alleviation. We have this one in Chaguanas. We have an additional 2 in Chaguanas where we're trying to widen some of the interchanges, and so that we have. Then we have the Maraval access, because getting in and out of Maraval is a nightmare for the people who lives in that area. We have in Sangre Grande where we're doing a road to circle the town. We have San Fernando, the Taruba Link Road. Drive there to make sure that no town is more than half an hour apart. So
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says at no time did he or any other person acting on his behalf, including his attorneys, indicated that he did not include his townhouse in his declaration, and that this occurred because he forgot to do so. The Prime Minister made the comment how he's responded to Sunday's editorial in the Guardian newspaper with respect to a quote which said, "It was regrettable that Dr. Rowley has so many assets that he forgot to include a recently purchased townhouse in his declaration." End quote. Dr. Rowley said he called a press conference and produced his declaration of 2019 to show he did declare his ownership of any and all townhouses owned by him. This declaration, he said, was properly done as prescribed in Form A and as required by law. Dr. Rowley said in the face of this public response to the unfounded allegation, it was then advanced by the UNC and the Integrity Commission. It should have been declared in Form B. The prescribed Form B requires a declaration of land without buildings, while Form A requires a declaration of real property, including apartments and townhouses. Dr. Rowley said on June 29, 2023, the Integrity Commission finally issued a letter of termination reporting it found he broke no law, nor was he found to be in breach of the Integrity in Public Life Act. Today, former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Basdio Pandy, will be conveyed from Da's funeral home in Marabella along San Fernando Bypass and the cross-crossing interchange to Ramsey Curtin Highway onto Todd Street and into the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts. The drive will start at 7:10 a.m. at Sapa. From 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., the late Basdio Pandy will lie in honor for public viewing at Sapa. Tomorrow, Tuesday, 9th January, at 8:10 a.m., Prime Minister Pandey will be conveyed, the late Prime Minister Pandey will be conveyed on a military escort from the corner of Sapero Street and Ramsey Curtin Highway onto Todd Street into Sapa, where the state funeral will start at 9 a.m. Following the funeral service, the cortege will depart Sapa at 11:30 a.m., proceed left onto Balize Avenue, then onto San Fernando Bypass, continuing south onto South Trunk Road and onto Mosquito Creek at around 12:40 p.m. The military procession will begin to escort onto Mosquito Creek Road, proceed north, turning into the Shore of Peace cremation site where Mr. Pandey will be cremated. Total exports from Trinidad and Tobago increased by 54% in 2023. Last year's exports brought in $89.1 billion. In 2022, the figure was $55.3 billion. The Ministry of Trade said non-energy exports increased 15% from $15.6 billion in 2022 to $17.9 billion in 2023. In the 2023 review, it said 2,907 jobs were created. Finally, in international news, Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has secured her fourth straight consecutive victory in a controversial election. Ms. Hasina will serve another 5 years after her party, the Amwari League, and its allies won at least 152 of the 300 parliamentary seats contested. With the main opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party boycotting the polls, Ms. Hasina's party and allies are expected to win the remaining seats as well. The BNP alleged the poll was a sham. That is news to 7 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. To end here the headlines once again. The Commissioner of Police wants to meet with religious leaders to discuss crime in the country. 5 murders over the weekend are engaging the attention of police. Trinidad and Tobago exports increased by 54% in 2023. And Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina wins a 4th term in a controversial vote. That is major news to 7 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming up again at 12 noon with headlines at 8 a.m.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul, for our major news. Of course, join him again come 8 o'clock for our news brief. All right. It's 24 degrees with some light showers at Piarco International Airport, 23 at Crown Point in Tobago. They got showers down in San Fernando as well. What the Met Office is saying for our weather for today, partly cloudy and breezy with a few light to moderate showers expected this evening. Will be settled despite the odd shower. All right? It's totally different. Maximum forecast temperature for today for both islands, 31 degrees. Taking a look at traffic, it just makes no sense telling you what the traffic is going to be like. Where you think you're going to get traffic, you will get traffic heavy from Maloney straight into Port of Spain. That leads up by Curep there, Ibis Gardens to Curep. Just after the Pillars in Maracas. From Santa Cruz, you've got traffic all the way down Diego Martin, same thing, going up Lady Young Road. Let's check south and see what's happening there. Rivulet Road, San Fernando. Where you think you'll get traffic, it's down. You've got it. And of course, heading northbound from Couva towards Chigaguanas and then Charlieville towards the interchange. That's your weather and traffic for you. Hope they helped you out in one way or the other. All right, so let's get the results of our morning poll. Let's see if we have any more. We did Marcia Rock. Lester Crigwell says yes to the poll. Romantic Passionate Lover says yes. Beauty Culture, good morning to you. And yes to the poll. Wendy and James, yep, testing. 1, 2, 3. Wayne Joseph. Good morning to you, Wayne Joseph. And let's see if I have any on WhatsApp. Dan Raj is asking you, Paul, is it true that Alexander will return to deal with crime for the carnival season? I don't know if you heard that.
Paul, go answer that, man.
You're muted.
When I get my meeting with Mrs. Here, Christopher, I'll let you know.
Oh, when you go to church? All right, no problem. All right, so that's some votes. Let's get the results of our poll.
All right, this morning we asked, do you think Michaela Pandey will be welcomed back into the UNC's fold? We had 16 people saying no and 9 saying yes. 9 said yes, she will be welcomed back. 16 said no. All right. I don't know. I can't say yes or no. You know, it'll be good for the UNC. But here why it doesn't matter to me, because I don't think that the UNC lost any votes because of them keeping Michaela out. I don't think they lost any votes. I doubt very much that the hardcore Pandey people at the end of the day still didn't go out and vote resoundingly for the UNC in their respective areas. I could put my neck on a block for that they did in fact vote for the UNC. You understand? So bringing her back I don't know that it will increase the votes. It might increase the popularity among non-UNC people. You understand?
Isn't that what an election is about, though?
Well, I guess so. I guess so. I don't know what
An election
impact.
is going past your base and to a
Right,
wider population to get into
right.
power.
So
So
that's what
if you
qualifying. That's
so
what
I think
qualifying. That's
exactly.
what qualifying was saying. So I don't think it would do anything to the UNC's base and their seats. What it could do is galvanize people in the non-UNC traditional areas to support the UNC
Which
if
is
we get
exactly what the election is about.
right. So
The margin is quite, there's just 2 seats separating the 2 parties now,
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Makila Pandey would have to want to go back first.
Well, three
Yeah.
seats actually.
That's the first thing. We are not sure that Makila Pandey wants to disband the Patriotic Front because she has a political party.
Yeah.
He does.
And she would have to disband that or form some sort of amalgamation with the UNC, which is also possible because it seems
Well,
the other amalgamations that UNC may have been interested in forming beforehand. So,
but weren't there amalgamations during the last local elections? Weren't other parties disbanded and kind of went back into the UNC's fold? Or under the umbrella, under the sun or whatever they had?
my understanding is there were strategic arrangements, alliances. I don't know if anybody went under the UNC banner.
Didn't they contest as a UNC? Some of them. Wasn't the Jack Warner party disbanded? And they went
What
as
party?
UNC? Huh?
The party was active. The party was active.
Well, they were still registered, as far as I'm aware. I think they were disbanded. It's only the NTA, I don't think, completely disbanded their party. Because the NTA has also called for 41 candidates in the 41 districts, haven't they? Constituencies. Because the UNC has called for it. I haven't heard anything again about it since, where they called for candidates in the 41 constituencies. NTA has done it. So we'll wait and see, But Michaela Pandey has always been a liked person. She has always been an affable person. Regardless, she has always been that way.
She's a very liked person. She has received one consistent criticism, and people perceive that she has not done enough work on the ground.
Yeah.
Mm.
That she feels entitled because of her name.
But not that she feels entitled, because when I hear her, I don't feel that I don't get entitlement from her delivery. But I know, but she's benefited greatly from her father's history in politics and the Pandey name. I don't think she feels entitled. That's not what I get from Makila. But I do hear people saying she needs to work more on the ground and go and walk constituencies all over, not only UNC constituencies, all over. That's the one criticism I've heard over and over.
Well, I'll tell you something, and to be fair to her, I mean, she is Basdeo Pandey's daughter, but more so his protege. She is this certain image and her mannerisms, her characters, everything is like Basdeo Pandey, right? So I would feel, as somebody who came into politics, because she was representing her constituency already, It's not like she didn't get into the politics at all, She was a representative of a constituency. I think it's Oropuch, one of the Oropuch seats, right? So, and then all of a sudden I am out. Because of what? Because you're falling out with my father. You have a problem with my father. I have to suffer the consequences because of what you'll have a problem with my father. She must feel aggrieved at that.
All right.
She should feel aggrieved at that.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I do have Dr. Emery Brown online. Good morning, Dr. Brown. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Good morning to you, your colleagues, and all your listeners.
Yep. I'm
Good morning, Mr. Brown.
Stones. Paul Richards and Wendell Stephen.
Hi, morning.
Morning.
Morning, Dr.
Morning, Mr. Brown. How are you this morning? Happy New Year. We haven't spoken to you for the New Year yet, I don't believe, or did we?
Yes, happy New Year to you. We have circumstances that require some attention, duty, and respect with the passing of former Prime Minister Basdeo Pandey. But it's always good to engage with you on your program. I'm actually on the way to San Fernando right now to conduct some duties at SAFA. relation to the lying state of former Prime Minister Candy during the day today, and then to further prepare for the state funeral, which is tomorrow morning.
Minister Brown, I realize it. Would it be correct to say that you are taking the lead in terms of government representation and coordination for this? I saw you at the airport with Mrs. Pandey and Makila welcoming late Prime Minister Pandey's body back to the country, or receiving, I should say, not welcoming, back to the country, and pretty pivotal in a number of the events. Would that be correct to say?
Yes, that would be correct. The Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs is playing a pivotal role in coordinating, managing, and ensuring that everything is done in decency and in order, and then the quality and caliber of proceedings that one would expect for a former Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. We are also responsible for coordinating with the Pandey family. This actually occurred before the unfortunate passing of the Prime Minister, who was instrumental in the conveyance of former Prime Minister Pandey to Florida in the first place, working his office as his Prime Minister, the support for his medical treatment while in the United States of America, the repatriation of his remains back to PNC, which was done in record time, literally at a national record. I'll have to more to say about that and how it should motivate us to further improve the efficiency of these proceedings for all citizens who would require it. And of course, we are pivotal in working with other stakeholders toward a very important state funeral, which takes place tomorrow, and the position thereof.
Now, Dr. Brown, this is our first Hindu state funeral, as far as I'm aware. What can we expect differently from other state funerals?
Well, that's a very good question. Yes, this is our first Hindu state funeral, but the state element is well defined. So, as you would recognize, for a former head of government or head of state, there are ceremonial proceedings which are underway with respect to the body lying in honor. For a sitting head of state, the body would be lying in state. In this case, the body lies in honor. We've done it at Port of Spain, we've done it at San Fernando. That's fairly standard. In addition, the opening of official condolence books across the country and about 20 overseas missions. That's fairly standard, whether it's Hindu, Christian, or Muslim as well. The mobilization of the defense force, which has been seen in these circumstances, both to the receiving of the remains at the airport. By the way, this is the first time this has been done associated with a state funeral, because this is the first that has passed abroad. And also the defense force is involved in ceremonial proceedings for the lying in honor at Port of Spain and San Fernando, the military procession associated with that, the conveyance of the casket into Sapa tomorrow morning as well involves military proceedings, and then the conveyance to the shore. So those, again, are fairly standard. With respect to this service, well, I don't want to say the state funeral, which occurs at Sapa tomorrow morning. It's going to be different to others, and this is where extensive consultations with the Pandey pundit, with the Pandey family, and other key stakeholders has been very, very important in planning these proceedings. There will be strict accordance with Hindu rites and the traditions. So the setup of the stage, the location of the family during the funeral proceedings is going to be unique and very different to other state funerals. way in which the key officials involved in the ceremony and the family are dressed will be unique as well, because they will be dressed in white. There have been questions as to whether the attendees and the mourners and the government officials should be dressed in white, and this has been completely clarified. No, black standard mourning wear is completely acceptable in these proceedings, but the pundit and other select officials will be dressed in white. So I will be wearing my normal standard black business suit associated with attending a funeral, and other attendees and right would be encouraged to dress as is suitable for a formal state funeral.
Minister Brown, it seemed like an obvious.
With respect to cremation and well, no, in terms of new proceedings involving cremation of a short speech, and again, there are some very specific.
Are we losing him?
We're losing a little bit, Dr. Brown.
Yes, I'm
Right, there you are.
South now. So as I was saying, the proceedings of the short piece will be unique as well. Again, there will be 5 stations where the proceedings will pause on the way to the final fire, and many other specific rights in accordance with the Great Trinity tradition.
Mr. Brown, it may be seen like an obvious response to this question, but just for the record, the population is very, I think, pleased with the government's decision to have a state funeral. From the government perspective, what prompted this decision?
I would want to give due credit to the Honorable Prime Minister, who very quickly made the decision that we should offer to the Pandey family the facility of a state funeral in honor of Padre Pandey. And the family very quickly accepted this offer, and the planning began. So that decision came from the very highest level, and it is very much in keeping with precedent. As you know, a similar offer was made to the family of former Prime Minister Patrick Manning, which also accepted on that decision. So we're establishing a position with respect to former heads of government, where there is the opportunity to extend this degree of state support, this degree of honor and recognition in keeping with their legacy.
Are there any other honors being planned by the government to honor Mr. Pandey's legacy?
Well,
or consider?
Is the proceedings that I am responsible for, and that certainly is everything around the state funeral. I'm not in a position to speak to anything else. I see lots of speculation, as might be expected in the media, and encouraged, it appears, by some other stakeholders. I'm not going to engage in any of that. The focus at this stage is to ensure, as far as possible, that we work together, we avoid any petty politicization. We work together as a nation and conduct these proceedings in a manner that pays respect to Mr. Pandey's life of service, that pays respect to his family and the mourning that they're experiencing at this time, and hopefully could inspire a nation as well in the way that Trinidad and Tobago conduct in these challenges.
It would be remiss of us not to ask you your thoughts on Mr. Pandey's legacy. Though he was in opposition to the PNM, many say he has been noted for his work in the labor field, his thespian attributes, and other contributions. What are your thoughts on Mr. Pandey's legacy?
I have great respect for Mr. Pandey. No life of service at that level and at that duration could be minimized or dismissed lightly. But what really struck me is his unique personality. He really was a very special son of the soil, and he gave some of the ingredients, background, his legal training, his rising from very humble circumstances, his acting experience, and his sense of drama. He really was very impactful and really continues to be so. Strong legacy in the labor movement. Also a strong legacy as a family man and mentoring his daughter and many others. And really someone who has absolutely made an impact on the national fabric and the national landscape. So again, it's that sense of respect and that appreciation that has guided our approach to the tribute and the ceremonial around his funeral. I said it earlier, I think, in my opinion, he has been the most quotable public figure in Trinidad and Tobago. He had that magic where almost anything he said would form a headline, would be quoted, would be remembered. He could tell you good morning, and it felt iconic and special. So there are not many people who have that type of magic. That added to his allure, added to his speech and his power to move people, to mobilize people, and to achieve results in a number of areas. So it's quite a remarkable part of our history now, and the legacy of our development has a diverse population and society.
It will also be remiss of us not to ask you to share your thoughts on the passing of the late Hochreich Charles, the funeral of which the Prime Minister attended last week.
Yes, well, someone once said that good people tend to go in groups, and Hochreich Charles, very unfortunately, passed very recently, and it's unfortunate that some of the national attention may have been deflected a little bit away from the significance of the passing of that great Tobagonian and Trinidadian, because he as well contributed in no small measure to the development of Tobago as it stands today. Brought considerable pride and honor to the people of Tobago. Also rose to the stature of a sort of elder statesman in most recent politics, someone the media and the contemporaries can refer to, can go to, can depend on for advice and counsel, and someone who undoubtedly always had the most noble intention, the best interest of the people at heart, and stand as an inspiration to young Tobagonians and all young nationals of this country that you can enter politics, you can think in honor without being punished, you can walk the corridors and emerge with dignity, with honor, and with a strong legacy. And so, which was rightfully is in the pantheon of great national figures, and it is all of it.
All right. Dr. Brown, thank you so much for being with us, Minister. We appreciate your time and your contribution. We know it's a busy 48 hours ahead.
Yeah.
And is it because it's a state funeral, it's invitation only, I'm presuming? Because I know Mr. Pandey has such a huge fan base.
That's a really, really important question. Before I get it, let me just acknowledge this is not a one-man show. This is a team effort. The support of the cabinet, the prime minister, the team at Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, the chief of protocol has been absolutely outstanding. And then it continues to be an honor and a pleasure to coordinate and work with Mr. Pandey and the rest of the Pandey family to set forth the Ministry of Communication, Ministry of Development, and there's many moving pieces. Now, with respect to tomorrow, yes, the teaching within the Southern Academy for the performing arts is by invitation, and that is necessary for a number of reasons. It's to prevent the safety and protocol reasons for that. But we do have considerable spillover space at Spinner Park with a large screen. We also have tents and large screens on the grounds of Spinner, for which invitations in hand are not required. My understanding is that the panel family to anticipate people, otherwise than others, to come out, to line the procession, to be in the vicinity of these proceedings as well. So it's not a case that if you don't have an invitation, don't clean up, but the seating within the Southern Academy for the performing arts is by instituted only. So I hope that gives a clearer sense of what is anticipated and what the candidates, the family and learning will be welcome as the environment for more.
Dr. Brown.
As well as the procession to the shore feet and those being present at the cremation. That is not by invitation only, but we have to manage, as well as movement.
You broke up a bit there. Short piece of what, sorry, Minister?
It's not by invitation
okay,
only,
it's not
but
by invitation.
the proviso is, we do have to manage for safety and the flow of people, etc. But we anticipate a large turnout both on the procession into the shore feast and persons being present to support the family and to a final goodbye and respect as the family of the Queen.
Yeah. Dr. Brown, what role, if any, will the opposition and more specifically the opposition leader will be playing in this particular state funeral?
Okay, the actual agenda, the program for the funeral itself is not very lengthy. What I can tell you is that on behalf of the state and the society, Her Excellency, the President of the Republic, will be speaking. There will be no speaking role for the leader of the opposition, nor for the Honorable Prime Minister. So that gives a sense. Again, this has been the subject of significant collaboration in perspective with the President family, with the Prime Minister as well. And so this is how it will be elaborated. There will be prayers from the IRO, a number of heads of religious states will be offering prayers at the service. There will be the traditional Hindu traditions and bhajans and other components of the event. There will be, of course, the national anthem, the draping, and then draping of the casket when appropriate during the proceedings. There will be a few very, very special and touching performances for these performances, and there will be several people really very, very close to the Pandey family and to the family who would offer a few words, and there will be a special unity as well. I wouldn't comment on either, but I can say it's very moving and iconic in the context of the proceedings. So, in terms of the role of the opposition, no, I think Pandey itself and the opposition itself, they have made a few comments, on their nexus with all of this, but that's where it stands. It's not being conducted as a political or party politics event. I see various stakeholders making comments, even some taking shots in the media, doing what we tend to do in this society, which I see as very, very important. This is an opportunity for us to walk a higher path, and there are those of us who are very serious about doing that. So the temptation to take pot shots and to pride this man's legacy and the right to speak. Let's decree that. Let's decree that and focus on the good, focus on the collaboration, focus on the respect, and hopefully that is guided.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Minister Dr. Brown. Thank you so much for being with us on the Power Breakfast Show and giving us all this information.
Always a privilege and an honor. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. All the best to you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Of course, that was Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Amory Brown.
All right. 2 weeks ago, after teasing him about how he don't acknowledge the guy and he drive more, right? Who cut in his grass. 2 weeks ago, I see this car coming out, and the car stopped, and somebody wind down the window and say, "Hey, Wendell." It was Dr. Brown, yes. I was cutting grass, and he wind up. I say, "Hey." I had to tease him. So good morning, Dr. Brown. Next time, just bring a little bottle of water for me or something, or a little lime ginseng or something. Bottle of Morbi or something. I didn't even know he drove. I haven't seen him for a while, and he was driving. I said, "Hey, who's this little boy winding on this glass?"
Little boy, okay.
And that's how he looks. I don't know. Dr. Brown has maintained a schoolboyish look, he has maintained that young, and he always has this kind of smile on his face, He has maintained
he's of diminutive stature.
Huh?
He's of diminutive stature.
Yeah, he's maintained a youthful look. So I was a little surprised when the person wind down the glass and pull up next to me. Anyway,
so
that's
a bit of information. The government would have paid for Mr. Is it that he said the government paid for Mr. Pandy's medical attention abroad?
Well, he said that they were involved. He didn't say they paid for it, but he said that
they were involved. They were involved with Mr. Pandy.
Assistance since then, getting him abroad,
and bringing him back. Okay.
Yeah. I saw your face light up when he said that, because that was news to us.
I think there's no problem with that. I really have no problem with those sorts of initiatives.
Neither do I.
I think it's what should be done when somebody has contributed as long as Mr. Pandy has.
Yeah.
I have no problem with those kinds of initiatives.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem if they paid for the medical attention also as a former prime minister.
I'm sure they would have assisted in some way or the other.
Yeah. So and the decision by the prime minister to afford Mr. Pandy, offer Mr. Pandy the state funeral, which his family accepted. So
yeah, because we saw a lot of images lately of Mr. Pandy and the prime minister, along with Michaela at different functions, We saw a lot of
Mr. Pandy attended a lot of functions that I went to, and was always almost the center of attention because of his charismatic manner.
Yeah. I mean,
they
have had the political wars too.
The opening of the parliamentary session and also the inauguration of President Kangaloo.
Yeah.
So those are two areas I saw him recently and had a conversation with him.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad Dr. Brown realized at the end of the day, people could say what they want. There'll be a lot of commentary, a lot of this and that. Mr. Pandy, like any other leader, would have been a complex person. Good, bad, indifferent.
Yep.
Like us all.
Mm-hmm.
He who is without sin.
Are you ready to cast him? You see me here? Are you ready to cast him? Just say the words.
Are you suggesting you're without sin?
Are you ready to cast?
Is that what you're suggesting? You're sure you want to go down that road? You're sure?
Are you ready to cast, brother?
You can't cast not even a pebble. Not even a pebble. Not even a pebble, sir. Where's this next one now?
Yes, because we can't take calls. Kerwin Duke, who apparently is Steve Khan on some social media, sends a message to himself and says, "Steve, I just want to say thank you so much for the traffic updates. We actually look forward to getting your updates and appreciate." That's Steve texting himself, under the name Kerwin Duke, Because all Steve does tell you is we have traffic. He don't ever tell you we don't have.
Steve,
let's take some calls, though.
Yeah. Just had some.
Kerwin, let's take some calls.
Yeah. All right. So 222-8255, toll free North Americans. Toll free, as I said, 866-525-1099 on WhatsApp as well at 318-1021. All right. Yeah. All right. If you're going through St. Julian Village, you've got some traffic heading to Princess Town. That's for you, Wendell. And go in. All right. Takes a couple of calls. Again, both. I didn't give temps out. I'll do that in the next hour. Yeah. All right. And let's go to the lines. Good morning.
Hey, morning,
Morning, Mr. Patrick.
Good
This
morning,
morning-
Mr. Patrick.
This morning we listened to a controversial item this morning about the Commissioner of Police request to meet with religious leaders and pray. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Neither do I.
Because let me tell you, a lot of religious leaders have a lot of say over the flock. And let me tell you something. Majority of fellas who committed criminal acts are not in religion either.
And
Well,
your
I
statement
was about to tell you that.
the person who take the gun and shoot the 4 children last year was in church.
Was you know?
Does he go to church? That person doesn't go to church.
You listen, man. So I have no problem with divine intervention because I know some criminal who turn to God and change their life.
Yes.
I know that. You understand? But sometimes in life you really need prayers and things to help situations, brother. So
Mr. Patrick.
Mr. Patrick, you're knocking on an open door here, you know.
Mr. Patrick, may I add that you could have the biggest connection with God and pray all you want. If you're doing bad policing, it ain't helping you.
Yeah, we do that. So
Let's not conflate two different things as equal. And Madam Commissioner needs to, in addition to call for prayer, call for proper, effective police performance from officers.
And sometimes you need
Okay, because you see prayers. Wouldn't I say that one in St. Joseph who tell the man where if you don't know where the police station is? That is not prayers. That is bad policing.
She needs some prayers too.
No, she needs training and discipline. And let's not conflate the two, because you see they call for prayer. People will say, well, yeah, what you have against prayer? People have nothing against prayer. But prayer alone is not going to fix bad policing.
Richard, you don't read the Bible, right?
Sometimes.
All right. Is there many incidents in the Holy Scriptures where nations was in distress and problem, and the kings of the nation called for prayer and fasting? And
again, we have no problem with that, but that cannot be the replacement for or in addition to bad policing.
Yeah.
Yes, we know that. But nothing wrong in calling for prayer. No, on the other hand.
So it can be the call for, and I understand people are going to slam the woman, and that's not fair because she was speaking in the context of an interfaith service. So in that context, it's fine.
Right, and she's a religious person.
And that's fine. But we didn't hire you for your religiosity.
Yeah, we know that, but most of religious people just bring the religion in the job.
And that's fine. If they are performing the job as specified in the job spec adequately.
Boy, but let me tell you,
your religious conviction cannot take the place of competence in the job.
Yes, but I tell you, they could put a heathen commissioner there, they go have the same issues. No. The Basde Pande International Airport where I hear people calling for. Every time I go in the airport, I see corruption mark on it. You understand? I see corruption mark on the airport. So if they have to put Basde Pande name on the airport, they have to put corruption in it too. You understand? Because the whole airport, man made jail for the airport.
Yes.
All kind of things. So I don't believe they're supposed to put Basde Pande name on the airport. You could always live on bad memory for Basde Pande and family.
You're sure right.
So
leave that airport just leave that airport as Piaco International Airport and stop putting the designation as Port of Spain. That's what they need to do.
right? Because you
No,
got
but
to
Port
put
of Spain's an
Basque
international code, Wendell.
Well,
So
change it. They could change
because,
it.
it's not that
you
simple.
got to put Basque in international corruption report, and that will be bad because it's a corrupt report, and people want to run from the fact what the reality is.
Nobody ain't running from that fact. Trust me. Every time that airport is mentioned, it's mentioned in the context of corruption.
So, but I want to wish the family good weather tomorrow for the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything be done equal and thing. Because yesterday I see some kind of hybrid yesterday, boy.
Mm.
You don't get any hybrid, are you?
We getting that. That is the time of the year for that is now. With that
Yeah,
those
it's not getting some breeze.
I get some kind of hybrid yesterday. I said, but look at this thing, boy. The coconut tree straight on, I mean.
Yeah.
So I hope everything will go out well and work out fine.
Yeah.
I hope Kamla Prasad Bisesa gets to meet up with Michaela Pandey finally.
Of course, there was a fete in Sapa car park last night. So good morning to the corporation. Good morning to CPEP. Lots of water trucks and CPEP workers are now trying to wash it down and clean it up. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Happy New Year to you all.
Morning, same to you.
It's one time I agree with Mr. Patrick, Mr. Trincity, is this morning. That airport ain't supposed to be named after Basil Pandey at all. At all. I don't want when I coming in that is no way. I want to say to Superintendent Guy Allen and the Children's Authority, I want to commend them for what they did in Tobago concerning that young girl and her two parents. Right? I don't agree. I do. You could discipline your children. Nobody, this country, we don't have this law like America where you can't beat your children. But please, don't put it in my face. You see this nonsense where everything, all you have to put it on Facebook? Wait, no. We don't want to see it. You discipline your child. But I must say, due to the stupidity of, I think it was I don't know if it was their children, but some young boys, due to them highlighting it and everything is, you had to videotape the children. Superintendent Guy Allen got in, and the rest is history. And she do her investigation and remove that child out of that home. So all you're so stupid that all you're doing is nonsense, and you want to put it out on the public, come like you're going to Massey and Thief or True Value, and you videotape your theft. Rubbish. So Superintendent Guy Allen, go to the head of the class. I want to ask something, Paul. When is Parliament going to open? Do you all have a date when Parliament opens?
What do you mean, resumes?
Yeah, when they resume, yeah.
Well, there's just a short Christmas break, and there's no official resumption. It just continues. So I think the GSC's planned for this week, from what I've seen in the schedule. And sittings may be at the end of the week. The House may sit at the end of the week or early next week. So
okay, because I heard Nalini Dial and what's his name, Stephen Cadiz was on the TV last year talking about these fireworks and the scratch bomb. Every year we go through the ritual, and she said it's 10 years now she's trying to get that bill passed controlling fireworks, and it is not happening. But she said the AG, like they had a meeting with him, and he said he's going to take it to Parliament. So I want to say to Mr. Attorney General Reginald Amar, I hope we don't have to wait like Dorothy for that to happen, because your super went on yes, Paul?
I don't know. I haven't heard the Honorable Attorney General make any confirmation of that statement by the goodly lady and the gentleman.
She said, I think his Malam was TV6 she was on, or CNC3, one of them I was watching.
Again, I have not heard it from the mouth of the Attorney General. So until I hear that, I'll leave it as a question mark.
All right. That is what I heard her say, so I'm saying after her. So I am hoping he could carry it to Parliament and get it passed, because we just can't go on this way in 2024. You see, that situation that when Diego Martin had it, I tell you, we was like Gaza, Israel, Ukraine, all in one.
Martin, Mr. Diego Martin,
Yes, Paul.
may I make a bold prediction?
Yes.
2030 will come and you still have fireworks to deal with.
Oh my God.
Well, I was going to
No,
say 34.
oh gosh, because listen, this is crazy. I mean, how long would we continue with the waiting? I mean, I know a house was burned down in Quarry Street in Port of Spain a few years ago.
Mr. Diego Martin, did you read the fine print in the country's constitution?
No.
Apparently, it's the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and fireworks.
Oh God, Paul, please. No, we can't go on.
And I see, as you say that Mr. Iowa George has started putting the national anthem in live performances in the song.
Yes.
Oh, really?
As predicted.
Right. Oh God, Paul, you know, let me tell you, I was planning to go to Bishop's set. And when I saw Iowa George was one of the artists, I said, no. I said, we will go Holy Name on whenever the thing Holy Name Convent on is this week or whatever. I am refusing to go to any set Iowa George is singing in. That is my decision. Just like how I didn't used to go to no fete with Sian, which is disrespectful self, is the same thing I'm putting down on Iowa George. I'm not going no party he's singing in at all. You right? But I am saying, please, Mr. AG, all you do something. Because like all you're waiting for something to happen like what happened in Mexico, I wouldn't go no further into that. All who know what went on in Mexico will know what I'm talking about. Please do something or you can't continue with this. Anytime they can carry like up to last night, down here somebody sent off a scratch bomb. What is this? The new year already in? What the hell? Like all you're trying to use up all your supply? Leave it. Look, man, look, I so vexed. And my next point,
Quickly.
I heard Paul read the news where he said 4 Venezuelans were intercepted. I only hope they don't take the state to court to get compensation for illegal detention. Because it seems like if you come in a country legal, at least this country, you could take the state to court and walk away smiling all the way to the bank. I hope that don't happen because I see Yasina put out about and they come in she house and they assault she and they raid she and well it's in the PCA hand now. Really? All you do something. Please, we can't be paying taxpayers' money to people because I could never see a Trinidadian or somebody from the Caribbean going to the United States illegally and the Border Patrol police hold them, detain them. They go to court and they win money. Never they get money. That will never happen.
All right.
Look, all you,
Thank
please,
you.
get real. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Diego Martin.
You'll have a wonderful day. Please be safe. It's Monday. Let's have a productive week ahead.
All right, folks, have an absolutely wonderful. I may have missed a couple birthdays, but so happy birthday for those who would have celebrated birthdays yesterday and today. One of whom is my very good friend Junior Walcott. Happy belated birthday, Junior. And folks, have a wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God.
All right. Thank you, Wendell. Thank you, Paul. Of course, Paul is going to do our news.